Welcome everyone to the first video for the channel The Modern Neanderthal. My name's Connor and we're going to be talking about a little bit of reselling and everything in between. So one of the things we're going to do today is talk about the use of an eBay store. So at the end of financial year 2021, I thought, what's the best way, what's the easiest way I can save a little bit of money for my eBay store? And one of the things that popped up was the eBay store selling fees. So we talk about that, or we're going to look at that. We're going to see which way is the best way to save money. Should I have an eBay store? Should I not? And when should I upgrade between different levels of eBay stores? So if you're on Facebook or any of those Facebook groups, you'll see that that's a question that a lot of new resellers ask. Should I be using a short store or should I not be? So here, if we look on our page, we've got our seller center for our eBay stores. And apparently, according to eBay, there are benefits for having an eBay store. We've got save with lower final value fees, boost traffic, brand yourself. Okay, so again, brand yourself, that's always a good thing, but not necessarily that important for what we're going to be looking at today. Boost traffic, improve sales, that's quite good. Now, but the main thing we're going to look at is saving money with lower value fees. So here we go. If we have a look here, here is our eBay store levels. So we've got, again, we have a no. It's not shown here because it's just the basic eBay page, but we've got no store. We will have a basic store, which is $24.95 per month. We've got a featured store and we've got an anchored store. Okay. Now, if we look at our final value fees, we're going to look at that today. We're not going to look at promoted listings credit, okay? Because again, it's only included in an anchor store. And as you'll see later on, if you're going to have an anchor store, you're going to have a lot of sales. So again, we've got sellers who list at least 600 items per month, sellers who list at least 1,500 items per month, and sellers who list at least 250,000 listings per month. And we're going to see this is actually a bit of a joke, but we're going to show you why. So we're going to open an eBay store and we're going to have a look here. As you can see, we've got our basic, our featured. What is the difference? Well, we've got the exact same thing for every shop except the promoted listings credit. Now, as you can see, free insertions. Why is this weird? Well, one of the things is, let's have a look at this, applies to fixed price listings for most categories. Some categories such as vehicles are excluded. This, eBay is actually lying to you, okay? If you look here, it says 600 per month, it says 1,500 per month, and it says 250,000 per month. Why is that lying? Well, everyone's been chucked on managed payments now, or if you haven't, you're probably going to be chucked on soon. Once you hit managed payments, you actually get a bunch of more listings. And when I say a bunch, I mean 250,000 listings per month. And how do we know this? Okay, so so let's have a look at selling fees for managed payments without an eBay store. We scroll down this page. We're going to have a look here. We're going to summarize this information later, but we have a look here. Where is it? Okay, so we scroll down and we're going to have a look at read our full terms for final value fees. Okay, read our full terms for fees when listing an item. Right here it says, all sellers with an Australian registration address are entitled to 250,000 free insertion fees per month for listed items in auction style or fixed price format in most categories, including relisted items and listings that are ended early. So that's a bit different from what it used to be for 40 per month. Let's see if that applies to our eBay stores as well. Again, we scroll down. We're going to have our store subscription fees. Let's have a look. Read our full terms for fees when listing an item. So all sellers with an eBay store subscription on ebay.com.au are entitled to 250,000 free insertions per month. So what's going on here? We've got our subscription level. It says free insertions. Does that actually apply anymore? Well, when you're on managed payments, that doesn't apply. That's going to be something that you will see on your dashboard, on your seller dashboard, okay? But when it comes down to it, that's not going to move. So if I have 600 free listings per month and I list 600 things, it's still going to show up as 600. If I have 1,500, okay, that's going to still show up as 1,500. It's not going to change. And that's the weird thing with managed payments. These free insertions don't matter anymore. So when we're thinking about this, why should I choose a basic store over no store? Why should I choose a featured store over a basic store? And this is where it comes in. So for everyone, we've got this table here, which basically shows us, okay, we've got our so we pay 30 cents for every order, and we've got tier 1 categories, tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4 categories. So what I'm going to look at today is the tier 1 categories, because they are the lowest final value fees, and tier 4 categories because that's the highest. We're not going to look at sales over $4,000 because that just doesn't, that's not going to work. Or most people don't have average sales or any sales over $4,000. So what we're going to look at is tier 4 and tier 1. Okay, and we're going to look at no store, basic store, featured store, and anchor store. And as you can see for our no store, we have 13.4%. So I've actually summarized this in a nice table for everyone. Okay, and let's see if we can zoom in. Okay. Okay, we'll just leave it there. Okay, so let's make this a little bit, oops. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Let's go 14. Okay, so here's a summary. So if we have no store, we're going to pay $0 per month, and excluding GST, and $0 per month including GST. So depending on your business type, that's where it's going to come up. Basic store is $24.95 and $27.45 with GST. Featured store $54.95 and then $60.45. Anchor store is $549.95 and $604.95 including GST. Oops, that's a little bit too big for my liking. Now, let's have a look at final value fees including GST and excluding GST. So the fixed order fee is 30 cents for any sale. Okay. So we look here, 30 cents, 30 cents, 30 cents. Now for no store, for tier 1, we have 13.4%. Okay, so that's the final value fee. And then it goes down to 7.3, 6.6, 6.2. So as we can see, the more sales we have, okay, or the larger revenue we have, larger turnover, we will actually benefit from having a higher level store. As you can see, the same thing for tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. But the question remains, which store should we get? Okay, and what we've done here, so first of all, when you sell 100 items, okay, the fixed order fee, the FOF, is going to be the same for any store. It's 30 cents per item, so it's going to be 30 cents times 100. Now, if it's included GST, it's going to be 33 cents. Okay, I've just done the two tables here. Whichever one you want to look at, it's going to be the same. Now, what we want to think about is if we were to plot. Okay, so if we were to plot this one here, let's move this out of the way. Okay, sorry, let's make this a little bit bigger for everyone. So I should have done a little bit more prep beforehand. So for tier 1, we have our no store, which is the blue line. We have our red, which is the basic store. We have our yellow, which is the featured store, and green, which is the anchored store. These do not include the final fixed order fee. okay, because we don't know how many sales we're going to get. This is just based off the final value, the percentage charge. So when we look at this plot, we can see that when we're looking at this, the higher up it is, the more fees you'll pay. So on our y-axis, we have the amount of fees you're going to be pay, excluding GST, and on the x-axis, we're seeing how much money you're actually, or how many items, no, not how many items, how much you're selling across a single month. So the higher up, the worse it is. So as we can see, in this case, having no store is kind of pointless, okay, because it's above everything. And we can see that at some point, okay, I'll change this. Let's go set up. Okay, I'll change this down to, let's say, 20. Okay, as you can see, when we get to about, so that's about $500, that point there. So if you're selling more than $500 worth, it's actually worth having a basic store, okay, because that's where the blue and red lines cross over. As you can see about here, let's see around here. So this is about $4,000 worth. As soon as you're selling about $4,500 worth, it's better to have a featured store. And then somewhere higher above, it's worth having a anchor store. But that's a little bit crazy. We're going to summarize this a little bit later on. As you can see, the same thing applies with the, it's a little bit different for tier 4. Okay, but the same principle applies. There are different points where each store crosses over, and you will actually save money by just having a higher tier store. Okay, and we can base this off how much money or how much revenue you're making per month. So how do we go about choosing this? Well, we've made a nice summary table. Okay, so here we go. When to upgrade, excluding GST and including GST. So the sales amount will be the same, but so for tier 1 sales, if you are selling everything in a tier 1, so that's home appliances, technology, devices category, if I go from having no store to a basic store, if I sell over $409.02 worth of stuff, I will benefit from having a basic store over no store. If I sell over $4,285.72 worth of stuff, I will benefit from having a feature store over a basic store. And then excluding every other benefit of an anchor store, I will benefit from having an anchor store over a feature store if I sell $123,750 worth of stuff per month. And right here, this is where this is excluding GST, but this is the amount. If you're paying more than this in fees, so if you're paying more than $54.81, or excluding GST, or $60.29 including GST, if you're paying more than that in fees, that's including the store fee, I should add. So that's including this $24 up here. I should upgrade my store. If I have no store and I'm paying over $60.29 in fees per month, I should upgrade. If I have a basic store and I'm paying over $369 in fees, I should upgrade. But that's for tier 1. So that's if I'm just selling tier 1. How about tier 4? So this is what I'm doing. I'm mainly a DVD reseller. Okay, and it's been fluctuating a little bit, so that's why I haven't changed yet. But if I have no store, okay, and I sell $1,663.33 worth of stuff per month, okay, that's including postage, because again, as we know, eBay charges the percentage on postage costs as well. If I sell that amount of money or above, I should be on a basic store, because I will be paying more final value fees with no store at all. If I sell over $2,500 worth of stuff, I should be on a feature store. I will be paying lower lower final value fees. Okay, and then If I sell over $82,500 worth of stuff, I should upgrade to an anchor store. Now, I'm nowhere near this, but I'm hovering around the basic store, feature store kind of conundrum. Now, these fees, these don't include our fixed order fee of 30 or 33 cents, okay? Because I don't know how many sales I'm going to get per month, and it doesn't matter because it's going to be the same for each store. Now, here's a little calculator, okay, just to kind of sum it out. So let's say I have no store, okay, and I'm going to include GST because I'm not GST exempt. So let's say sales amount. Say I sell $1,000 worth of stuff, okay. If I'm selling all tier 1 items, it makes sense for me. I will save $39.66. But if I'm selling tier 4 items, it makes sense to me to have no store because I'm actually going to end up better. I'm going to end up $10.95 better. But if I get $2,000 in revenue, I will save $5.56. Now, let's have a think about this. Okay, so on average, I'm doing about $3,000 in revenue per month. If I was had no store, okay, I would be spending an extra $22. If I have a basic store, I save that $22. Let's have a look at this. Now, we know that the cutoff tier for basic store and feature store is $2,500. So let's try this. If I have $3,000 worth of stuff, if I have a basic store and I'm selling tier 4 items, it'll cost me $6.60 more. But if I have a feature store, I will save that $6.60. Now, if I'm fluctuating around that $2,500 mark, maybe changing over isn't worth it. That's something you've got to work out for yourself. But if we got here, I'm changing over, I will save $6.60. Now, my goal at the moment, a personal goal, is to hit $5,000 per month in revenue. We have a look at this. If I hit 5,000, I'm going to save $33, okay, which is a significant chunk of money purely just for changing one thing over. It takes 2 seconds. And then if I'm selling $10,000 per month, I'm going to save nearly $100. $100, kind of worth it. Now, as we can see, let's have a rough guess, okay. If you've been watching the 2 Aussie thrifters, they've been fluctuating around 60K per 3 months, so that would be $20,000 per month. And I've kind of reached out to those guys to kind of suggest this. I haven't reached out to the 2 Aussie thrifters yet, but hopefully they see this video. We're going to see, let's put $20,000 in. Okay, so if I put $20,000, that's $200,000. I think they'd be happy if they sold that. Let's say $20,000 at this point in time. Okay, we are saying that they would save $400 per month if they were selling purely tier 4 items and getting no other benefits from the anchor store. So maybe that's something they will look into. We'll get in contact with them. Thanks everyone for paying attention to this. If you haven't taken anything from this video, one thing to think about is if you are selling tier 4 items, okay, which I am doing, so DVDs, stuff like that. If you are selling over $1,663.33 per month, it makes sense for you to have a basic store. If you're selling over $2,500 worth of stuff, it makes sense for you to have a feature store. And if you are selling over $82,500 worth of stuff, it makes sense for you to have an anchor store. This is again without the final order fees, but that's the same for each category, and it's for all sales under $4,000. So hopefully that helps you out, saves you a little bit of money. I will set this up so you guys can access this and have a play around. Thanks very much. Have a great day.